Howdy, folks. I'm a wary, hairy woodpecker, woefully watching weird walruses.
I'm Amber.
And here are more weird walruses for us to watch. Amber, I just want to know, what kind of sick woodpecker am I? Apparently a hairy woodpecker. I'm not even going to let Amber answer that question. Let's get started. I'm a weird walrus. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for divorcing my husband for a man who gave me a kidney? I'm a 43-year-old female, and I have a genetic kidney condition, and I lost the function of both of my kidneys a couple years ago. I was on dialysis and on the transplant list. I never drank alcohol or did anything to exacerbate my disease. It was just the luck of the draw. My husband John, a 49-year-old male, refused to get tested. It's his choice, and I can't make him. I have a friend Sam, a 34-year-old male, who donated his kidney. He didn't directly donate to me because we were not compatible, but it was part of a kidney chain. Because of him, I was able to get a kidney. I thanked him profusely because he literally saved my life. We had not been close friends, and I asked him why he decided to donate. He told me that he always harbored affection for me, but did nothing because I was married. When he found out that I needed a kidney, he didn't want me to die. It turned my whole world upside down. I didn't want to engage in an emotional affair, so when I did question my feelings for my husband, I immediately went for separation. I was happier apart from John. I filed for divorce. John was blindsided and devastated at what I had done. People I know are calling me cold for what I have done. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I mean, you're allowed to divorce people for any reason you want, but if your partner, you need something medically and your partner won't even agree to be tested for it, I mean, that says a lot about how much they value you and the relationship.
Yeah, I will read a couple of the comments here real quick because I think they add a little tiny bit. Neodesteria777 says, What test did your husband refuse? And OP replies, to see if he was eligible for a kidney donor for me. Even if we didn't match, he could have signed up for a kidney swap or a chain. And Empty Pomegranate says, Why did your husband refuse to get tested? And OP replies, he was afraid. He said, what if my kidney fails in the future? What am I supposed to do? His decision was really kind of based in a fear of the future, of, what am I supposed to do if I don't have a kidney? And that's certainly a legitimate fear. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think this is something that people are allowed to be afraid of, and I'm not saying that he has no right to be afraid of, the possibility of the future. But I also think that there were other people around OP who wanted to see them survive and live. And I mean, kidney dialysis and all that kind of stuff is a terrible thing to watch somebody go through. And I can't imagine, sitting and trying to, going through that with your partner and not wanting to do anything for them at all. So I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. And, I understand that it would be really scary. I would be scared out of my mind at the thought of having to donate a vital organ, And so, I get the fear, but also, someone else in her life has shown that he is more concerned about her well-being, basically. And I can understand why that would feel like an important thing to OP, while she'd be like, wow, this guy really cares about me enough that he donated a kidney. That's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not saying that he didn't care about her, but when she separated from him, she kind of searched her feelings and realized that she was actually happier away from him. And sometimes, distance makes the heart grow fonder, but sometimes it makes you realize that that person isn't for you.
Well, yeah, and I think this may have been one of those, tip of the iceberg things, or straw that broke the camel's back, that's probably the phrase I'm looking for, where the relationship wasn't necessarily the greatest to begin with, but it wasn't until she was out that she realized, oh wow, I'm actually much happier when I'm not with this person.
Yeah. And so I think aside from whether or not she got the kidney transplant from, because she could have gotten a kidney transplant from any number of sources, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just happened to be this friend who decided to do it. And I think that was also kind of the impetus about whether or not she decided to even reevaluate the relationship, right? Because she kind of realized that, maybe there are other people in this world who are willing to take these risks for me and whatnot. I don't know. It's a difficult situation. I feel bad that, his kind of fear and apprehension was, this big. And I mean, that's, no one knows how they're going to act in a situation like that until it happens, right?
Of course, yeah. And again, like, there's nothing wrong with being afraid. Like, that's a natural reaction. But at the end of the day, people can divorce for whatever reason they want. And if you realize that you'd be happier with someone else than your partner, it's much kinder to divorce than just like string them along and have an affair, like Opie said.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Inviting My Sister to My Wedding Because She Didn't Invite Me to Hers? I'm a 24-year-old female and I'm getting married in a few weeks. 7 years ago, my sister got married and I was so excited. I talked to her about the wedding, what dress I would wear, and if I could help her plan it out. And she was always dismissive, and a few weeks before the wedding, she told me that it would be an 18-plus affair. She said that she wanted to exclude annoying kids and made this rule, and she can't make an exception in all this garbage. She also said that I was too young for the adult atmosphere and whatever. My 18th birthday was a week after the wedding. I was devastated and I begged my sister to let me come. I really wanted to be there to support her. My stepmom refused to go to the wedding as a result of that, and my dad almost divorced her over that, among other things. I eventually accepted it, and I told my sister that I would not invite her to my wedding. She scoffed and laughed and said that I was being immature and I'll forget about it. My fiance's dad owns a massive yacht company. They rent out yachts. They make repairs and they sell equipment. The wedding party will take place on a yacht which can accommodate 200 guests. She asked me about the wedding and I flat out told her that she wasn't invited. She said that I was being petty and how hurtful I was and that her reasons were justified and it's in the past. To be honest, I feel like she just wants to be on the yacht and not so much there to support me. I told her that she should have thought about that back then, and now she understands how I feel, and that she's only jealous that my wedding will be better than hers. My dad called me and said I needed to stop being petty and invite her, and the other family agreed. I told them no, and after some arguing, they respected it. My sister is being rude about it on Facebook. Edit, a friend suggested that I should make my sister delete all the Facebook posts and write an apology letter saying why it was wrong to exclude me from the wedding. I think that's cringe, but what do you all think? Alright folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think Opie's the jerk for not wanting to include her sister. I understand not wanting to have very young kids at a wedding, but when you have someone who's like a week away from their 18th birthday, at that point it feels intentional.
Yeah, oh no, it is absolutely intentional. There was no doubt in my mind that she did this on purpose.
Yeah.
She could have made the adult age 16 plus, right?
Right. Well, and there's also generally accepted that very close family, your immediate family can be exceptions. So like even if there's no small children, your little sister can be there.
Yeah.
Type of deal. So, yeah, I think it's fair. The sister showed that she didn't want Opie on her big day. She didn't value Opie enough. And, now Opie is just doing the same thing.
Yeah. OP, you could always just make some kind of arbitrary rule that's very, very narrowly applies to your sister and say, oh, I just am not inviting any of these type of people to my wedding. And then, be like, I'm just sorry. I just can't invite them. I made this blanket rule. And then...
Yeah, no lawyers, because they might do lawyery things on the yacht. So,
yeah.
Or whatever her occupation is or something.
Yeah, it would be kind of funny to have it to be something like that.
Although I don't necessarily advocate going that route, but I mean,
I don't know. I'm not saying that I wouldn't advocate for that route. I mean, everyone's always so petty, and I'm petty this one time.
You're allowed to be petty. I'll allow it.
So no, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think that OP is able to handle this in whatever way they see fit. As for the Facebook apology, I think that's kind of a day late, dollar short type thing.
Exactly. It clearly would be done if the sister agreed it just so she can get on the yacht. It's not going to be done sincerely, and it would just be kind of a, oh, well, now I get to go party on a yacht thing.
Yeah. And, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, OP has to decide what's more important to them. getting revenge on their sister or causing more strife in the family. It already sounds like the last time this happened, it caused a lot of strife in the family.
Mm-hmm.
And I can also understand why OP would want to hold their sister to this, because it was a kind of a rude thing for her to exclude OP.
Well, it was. And I mean, the only situation in which the Facebook apology might be is if the rest of the family, like, again, is going to be a giant drama fest if you don't invite her.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, for the sake of not having everything explode on your wedding, it might be worth it, potentially, if that feels right to OP. But I wouldn't generally advocate for the Facebook apology, and you have to know that it's not sincere.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Banning My Parents and Siblings from My Wedding because they refuse to adhere to the theme of the wedding? I might look like a big groomzilla, but let me explain. I'm a 34-year-old male and I work in fashion industry, and so does my fiance, a 34-year-old male. Both of us have poured our hearts into our jobs since we have met in the university, and we have created our own fashion line company, and I have to admit that 80% of our lives were about the company. Our passion child until 2023. At 2023, we were able to be a bit more of the masterminds and let the other people handle stuff like organizing fashion shows, opening stores, etc. Due to this, we didn't even think about getting married for the 15 years that we were together until last June, and our relationship with our families were limited. My fiance's family understood where we were coming from because they all have amazing careers, and it took them time and effort to achieve that, while my family prioritizes spending time together. I wasn't built for that, to be fair, but I always tried to play the game. I attended their weddings, I tried to go to family Christmases because my fiance's family never did, and I attended the funerals. So in 2023, we started to spend more time with my family and actually had somewhat of a positive relationship with them, especially after our engagement. We have been to the family brunches, vacations, and other stuff. We even have babysitting my nieces and nephews, which is huge for us. We don't like children at all. The problem is this. Our wedding will be a big event that multiple executors will be at and fashion designers will attend. It won't be a family thing. We have to call these people and they will be there to judge us. So we have decided to organize our wedding in a theme that we wanted everyone to wear a specific clothing item that we have made for them. My fiance's family were really cool with the idea, but my family refused it. They also said that they wanted us to have a more private wedding with our in-laws and close friends because weddings should be about family. They also didn't like that I made it 18 plus. I disagreed with them, and I told them about the examples of people who used weddings as companionship and business opportunities. To be honest, neither me nor my fiance would have continued our relationship and thought about marriage if we weren't business partners. The adult intimate time spent together outside of work is also good, but the best time that I have with him is when he has a crazy idea and we are trying to make it work in the studio, working endlessly on that idea to make it a reality. After we have argued on these themes for days and days, we said, fine, then we don't want you at our wedding at all costs, and we have banned them from attending the wedding. My fiance's parents understand where we're coming from, but his siblings say that we're being cruel and that we might elope with them present and make a huge party for the industry at a different time instead. We think that we should make the ceremony really public so people will understand our bond, that it won't be broken, neither in our love life nor our work life. Am I the jerk? Info, I can't give more details, but the theme is steampunk bourgeois. Alright folks, what do you think?
I think maybe everyone's a little bit in the wrong here. Like, I think the family is definitely in the wrong for trying to push their vision of a wedding on OP and his partner. It's very clear that they have a certain thing they want to do, and trying to tell them, no, you should have it be the intimate family thing that we want isn't a cool way to go. But I also understand not necessarily wanting to wear a specific outfit. Like, it depends on how comfortable these clothing items are and functional. Like, I really like the idea, like, if a fashion designer was like, hey, I will give you your own outfit for my wedding, like, that would be cool. But also, if it's really uncomfortable, then I'd be like, oh my goodness, I'm dying of itchiness. How am I going to make it through?
Yeah, well, I think that OP and their fiance are using their family more as runway models than they are using them as members of the to witness a wedding, right?
Well, exactly. Like, I think OP and his partner are a little bit too focused on the wrong elements
Yeah,
here.
yeah. And I mean, it's their wedding, and they're able to host their wedding however they want. But I think at the end of the day, they have to really decide what's more important to them. Do they want to be involved in family life? Do they want to have those opportunities to have their family around? If they go through with banning them from the wedding, they're probably not going to have much in the way of interactions with their family from here on out. And they have to decide, is that what they want? Do they really want to cut off their family like this? And if the answer is no, then they need to work on some kind of compromise. Maybe there are accessories that they could wear instead, right? Maybe not full on outfits. Or maybe they could have a fashion contest or something like that. Who knows? But I think that they're putting a little too much emphasis on the whole, this is going to be a business opportunity.
Exactly. And basically everyone at their wedding is just a prop, and that's a problem.
Well, and it kind of shows the relationship with work, right? Work is always present. It doesn't matter if it's at their wedding or not. They're always going to be working. And that's certainly fine if that's the way they want to live their life. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, pursue their passions. I'm glad that they have this passion and they can constantly pursue it. But not everyone is going to be driven in that same way.
Yeah, and I mean, I think obviously they don't have to do that, but I think the fiance's siblings' idea for a compromise is a reasonable one. And I know, like, if Opie and his husband want to exchange vows in front of all the business people too, that's fine. There's nothing stopping them from having an elopement and then having a full ceremony and rehearsal.
Yeah.
And re-saying those vows.
Yeah. So I think that there are some wiggle room here for making sure that everyone's needs are accommodated for. But I think that that's really going to be up to OP and their fiance at the end of the day and what they value and what they want out of life. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What might a salad say to start a meeting?
I would say a salad, in order to start a meeting, would be like order, order, order. And then they get taken away because they accidentally were trying to make an order.
Oh, well, that's not what I have. Let us begin.
Oh, let us begin. Yeah, that works. And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Spectacular Saturday. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it another wedding invite.
You are cordially invited to a wedding. Just for full disclosure, we are not inviting any lawyers because this is a yacht and we are worried about lawyers doing lawyery things. So sorry to our family member who is a lawyer.
Yes, yes. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.